Okay, back with another video, and today I am going to be talking about some watch faces. Are you starting to get bored with your smartwatch but can't afford to upgrade or get the newest one? Well, why don't we just change the watch face and we'll make it look like a new watch. We're going to go over 10 watch faces from the Facer app. These watch faces will work with any watch that has the Wear OS system, which means any Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, 5, or 6 it will work on. It will work on any Pixel watch, and it will even work on the Fossil 6, any watch that has the Wear OS operating system. So you need to download the Facer app from the Google Play Store. And once you download it to either your phone or you could download it to your watch first. But once you download it to one of them, it will make you download it to the other one as well. And this is done pretty much automatically. Once you download the app to your watch and your phone, then you will need to give it some access. So it's going to ask for permissions so that it can give you notifications and show you the weather data and your location and get your heart rate and all that kind of stuff. So you can grant whatever you want. But once you finish that, then we'll download some apps. In the description, I will put the watch name and the maker, so it will be easier to find on the Facer app, and then you could just download it nice and easy. And again, this is the Watch 5 that it will work on. It will also work on the Watch 5 Pro, and again, the Watch 4, Watch 6, any version of it will work just fine. I'll just go through here on the Watch 5. The only other thing you need to do is make sure your watch face is the Facer app. So if you just hold it, press and hold, and then you go through your watch faces, it will usually have the actual Facer app picture here, and you click on it. Right now I have the watch face on there, but then it's there, and then if you change any watch face, it will just automatically load right through there. So the first watch face I have is Weather and Health 0623. And again, I'll have all the names and makers in the description so you could easily find them. So the first thing I really like about this is that the date is very easy to see, so that's great. It has the sunrise and sunset on the top, but it only has one at a time. So after the sun rises, then it will show you sunset, and then after sunset, it will show you what the sun rises. So I actually kind of like that. The other thing I like here is it has the watch and the phone battery on here, which is great. The phone battery doesn't refresh. Sometimes refreshes pretty quickly, sometimes it doesn't. So it's not always 100% accurate, but usually it's fairly good. It also has the weather data and everything on there, which is really great. The thing I don't like about this is the always-on display. So it's actually still kind of bright and will still kind of kill your battery pretty quick. A lot of the always-on displays just has the basic information like, the time and the date or something like that. But it also would just have it all blacked out. It just has colors. It's kind of vibrant on there. So that will kind of kill your battery. So that's the only thing I don't like about this one. Otherwise, I think the watch face is really nice and really easy to see. And it has a lot of data on there. And again, all the data is actually very easy to see, which is great. So this watch face is called All Info V10 Change Background. I don't come up with the names, that's just what it is, and again, I'll put the description in the bottom so you can find all these things, but this has all the information you could ever think of. I mean, just look at all the stuff that's in here. We got the sunrise, the sunset, you got the weather for the next 3 days, you got the wind speed, you got the moon phases, you got the day, the date, you got the heart rate and all that, your health metrics on here, you got the phone battery, you got the watch battery, just about everything on here, which is really great. The only thing I don't like is that, I mean, most of it's actually pretty legible, but some of it is just a little hard to see just because, I mean, there's just so much stuff on there. But let me just show you the always-on display, which is, I don't know, a little wonky looking, but it actually does give you some good information and also does save you battery because it is, kind of just minimal design there. But again, it just does look a little wonky, so I don't really love that, but that's what that one is. Let's go on to the next one. This next watch face is called LR21-3D Flip App Day Night 24-hour. So this is actually a 24-hour clock on here for those that like it, but also it's just so easy to read. That's what I really like about this. I mean, those big numbers there, really easy to see. The date's very easy. The weather's very easy to see. For my old eyes, this actually works out really well for me. But I do love the maker here. So whoever does this, I don't know, but I don't get any money or commissions or anything like that. But if you search for the LR21 in the Facer app, you get a lot of options. I do love all the watch faces that this watchmaker makes. This is the LR21 is the maker. They have a lot of different watch faces with the weather on there and all different combinations and all different displays, and a lot of them are just really nice. So if you just search for that, there's a lot of variations that you'd probably love if you like the weather and the clock on the same watch face. The always-on display kind of stinks on this. That's what I don't like. If you do use the new always-on display. If you don't use it, then it doesn't make a difference. But if the always-on display, this bottom just changes and disappears. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So that's really all it is. It has the sunrise and sunset on there. But so still, this is really going to kill your battery very quickly with the always-on display. So if you don't use the always-on display, then it's great. And like I said, that's the change. But very easy to read here. Just glance at it, and you can see the weather and the time very easily. So this is another weather-oriented watch face, and again, I have two here from the same maker, the LR21, just because I love their watch faces. So this one is just much more vibrant, same kind of theme as the other one, same 3-day forecast on there, the heart rate and steps are on the bottom there, the clock, the date, very easy to see. It's just a little more vibrant, and a lot of people seem to like the weather display in the background, so that's that. The only thing is, obviously, this would kill your battery because it is kind of a big graphic-intensive watch face there and very bright. And also the always-on display kind of stinks on this one. So if you just look here, the middle thing is the only thing that changes with the always-on display. I'll just engage it. So now it has the sunrise, sunset right in the middle there. And then when you click it, it just opens up again. So very terrible always-on display on this one, but otherwise a great watch face. So the other watch face did have a 24-hour clock. This has a regular clock. You can pick which one you like. And again, if you just look up that maker, you'll find a lot that you're probably interested in. Okay, this one is called the CGE Duality PRO, and I really like this one because it has a nice big analog watch for those that like that, and then it also has a nice easy-to-read digital display. It also has the date that's very easy to read. You got the weather, you got your other health info in there, and just really easy to see. You got the battery percentage on the side here. Some people like that graphic kind of thing, but just really kind of a cool design, different. I just really kind of like it. Now, the only disadvantages on this is the always-on display is terrible. So that's the always-on display. You can see here that not much of a difference, and then you turn it back on. That's the change. So not much of a difference there if you're looking to save battery. But I just kind of really like the design on that one. So let me just show you the Facer app here. When you pick the watch face, there's obviously advertisements and all that stuff there. But if you look on here, this is how you download it. You just hit this, and this will transfer it to your watch. This is, to add it to your favorites. So if you click on this, if you want to customize it, but most Facer apps don't have any customization. So you just kind of get this. You can just change it, your units, and if you're 12-hour and 24-hour, but not everyone gives you that one. So that's that. And then if you want to see what the always-on display looks like, you just click on this thing here. Then you could see the difference. So, that was it. So that's that. Now, let me just show you the other issues with the Facer app here. This is the home. And again, there's a lot of advertisements, and usually a lot of the watch faces have chargers on there, so it's hard to find them that don't have any chargers. So if you click on here, this is Explore, then you can just hit Search, and you can find whatever you want with that. So I'll have all the watch faces, I'll have the description and the maker on here. You could type the actual name of the watch face, and that usually pulls it up, but not always, and things might change as time goes on. So if you can't find it by actually putting the name in there, then just put the watch maker, and that will usually show up, the watch faces that they have, and sometimes they just have a few, and sometimes they have a couple of dozen that you have to just scroll through, and you can find the ones you want. Then if you click here, the top charts, this is a way to find some free watches if you want. I don't usually pay for the watch faces just because I change them so often. It's not worth it for me to pay for them. But if you look here, obviously they have the top premiums first and the charges there. The top free, and it will list all of them, and I don't know how many are in here. So, so 100 of the top free watch faces, and then this changes regularly, so you can kind of go back here and see which ones you like. And again, once you find one that you like, if you go to that maker, they'll have ones that are similar to that, and if you want something that's just a little bit different. And then you can save the ones that you like. You could just tag and like it as a favorite. And then if you click on here, it'll just be in your favorites right here. And if you obviously make any purchases or anything like that, that will be there. So that's it for the Facer app. Let's get back to the watch faces. So this watch face is for those of a certain generation, a little older. This kind of is sort of like retro tech, but was cutting edge tech many, many years ago. So it kind of gives you that gray face there. I really like that retro look, the grayed out screen there. So I really like this watch face just because it has so much data on it, and it's actually kind of easy to see for the most part because the contrast is so good. But you can see all the stuff that's on there. You get the sunrise, sunset, the date, the time. You could change this from 12-hour to 24-hour if you want. You got an analog clock there. You got the weather information on there. And actually, if you look on the top here, there's a little compass, which is kind of really cool. So just about everything on there that you'd want, and it's actually very easy to see, like I said. And if you do this, this is the always-on display, which is actually real always-on display, kind of just minimalistic thing on there, so you can see the clock, and then when you turn it back on, just kind of the rest of the background just fills in, so it's actually really easy to see and really easy to switch back and forth. So as you can tell, I prefer digital watches, but I know a lot of people like analogs, and this one I found that I really liked. It does have a second hand right here, and it does have the watch battery there, which is a little tough to read. It just gives you kind of a graphic. Then if you look right under the hands there, we have the date and the battery percentage. So that's one thing I don't like about the analog watches, is that the hands sometimes will black out the data. So if you glance at it quick, you may not be able to see it. So this is the phone battery percentage and the date, and this is the watch battery percentage in that little graphic there. And again, you do have that second hand here. The other great thing about this watch is the always-on display. So this is the always-on display, real minimalistic, but you get all the information that you probably need. And then you just click it back on, and there it is. That's the difference. And it just, you know, I like the always-on displays when it just fills up the rest instead of changing it from one display to another. That's easy to see and easy to change back and forth between the two. Here's another watch face for people who love the analogs. So on this one here, obviously pretty straightforward, but you do get a lot of information on there. So that's really easy to see. And again, you get all this information right in this little corner. That's a little tough to see, but the rest of it's very easy. And you can see what's included there. And then the always-on display, let me show you that. Real, just minimalistic. Like I said, that will save a lot of battery there. Then when you open it up, it just kind of fills in around there. So just to repeat, there's no shortcuts on these Facer apps. So if I click on the date, or if I click on the temperature or anything like that, the calendar doesn't open up, or the weather app doesn't open up. So basically, it's just as it is here. So that's one bad thing about Facer, that you don't have any shortcuts. But the Facer app does have a lot of watch faces, so you could change them, every day, and you can find a different watch face on there. A lot of them are paid, but there's also a lot free, and there's a lot to go through and a lot of different variations. So you definitely will find one that you like. All the watch face names and makers will be in the description, so they're really easy to find on the Facer app. And I chose just to stay with the Facer app for these watch faces so you could see what they have. I also have some watch faces that I really like from other sources, so maybe I'll make another video about those. But I got one more, so stay with me. So this one, I don't know if it's coming off on the video, but it's very bright and vivid here. And it's kind of a little abstract, a little different looking, and still has a lot of information on there. It's actually cleanly laid out, but there is a lot of information. You do have your batteries of the watch and the phone. You got your weather, you got your time, obviously, you got the date, and you got your steps on there. Really easy to see. And that's the always-on display. So again, it still gives you a lot of information, and it's blacked out, so it doesn't really drain the battery life that much. And then if you, when you flip your wrist and turn it on, it just changes right there and fills in. So that's kind of cool. So that's 10 watch faces that I liked, and I hope you like some of them. Please leave it in the comments if you liked any of these. If you liked any of these watch faces, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. It really helps me out a lot. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it.